Listen, gather round. You want to hear about the man who stayed in America for 50 years, never sent one kobo home, then came back acting like a big man and tried to claim property he didn't build? His younger brother, the one who suffered and rebuilt everything, gave him the shock of his life in front of the whole village. This story will teach you that wickedness always finds its match. You see, 50 years ago, young Okafor left Umueze village with nothing but a small box and big dreams. His younger brother Ikenna was only 10 years old then, crying at the motor park as Okafor boarded the bus that would take him to Lagos, then to the airplane that will carry him to America. "Take care of Mama and Papa," Okafor had said, pressing 2 coins into little Ikenna's hand. "When I make it in America, I will send money, plenty money. Our family will never suffer again." Ikenna believed him. Their parents believed him. The whole village believed him, because that's what people did in those days. They believed that America was the land of milk and honey, where money grew on trees and every Nigerian became a millionaire. The first year, letters came. "Dear family, I am well. America is cold, but the opportunities are plenty. Soon I will send money," but no money came. The second year, fewer letters. "Still struggling, finding my feet. Next year will be better." Still no money. By the 5th year, the letters stopped completely. Their father died without receiving a single kobo from his firstborn son. Their mother died 10 years later, still waiting for Okafor to remember them. And Ikenna worked, he farmed, he built himself up from nothing, penny by penny, sweat by sweat. He married, had children, built a house, bought land. He took care of everything their parents left behind. The family compound that was falling apart, Ikenna rebuilt it. The family land that was being encroached upon by neighbors, Ikenna fought for it, protected it, farmed it. He did everything a first son should do, even though he was the second son. And now, 50 years later, Okafor was coming home. The news spread through Umueze like wildfire. "Papa America is coming after 50 years. He's coming with plenty dollars. He's now a big man in America." Ikenna heard the news and just smiled. That quiet smile that makes people wonder what you are thinking. His wife, Adaeze, saw the smile and knew immediately that something was brewing in her husband's mind. "What are you planning?" she asked. "Nothing, my dear. Just preparing to welcome my big brother home." "Ikenna, I know that smile. That's your trouble is coming smile." "Me? Trouble? I'm just a simple village farmer. What trouble can I cause?" The day Papa America arrived, the entire village gathered at the motor park. And when he stepped out of that big jeep he had hired from the city, wearing a suit that probably cost more than most people's yearly income, dark sunglasses even though the sun was setting, and a hat that made him look like he was going to a funeral in a Hollywood movie, the people cheered. "Papa America, welcome, welcome home." Okafor removed his sunglasses slowly, very slowly, like he was in a movie. He looked around at the village, at the faces of people he no longer recognized, and his nose wrinkled slightly as if he was smelling something unpleasant. "Where is my brother Ikenna?" he asked in English, his Igbo now mixed with a thick American accent that made simple words sound complicated. Ikenna stepped forward from the crowd, dressed in his normal wrapper and singlet, looking exactly like what he was, a hard-working village farmer. "Brother," Ikenna embraced him warmly. "Welcome home. 50 years is too long." Okafor removed his sunglasses stiffly, like he was afraid of getting his expensive suit dirty. Yes, very long time. You look well."
"Thank you, brother. Come, let me take you to the family compound. Everyone is waiting. As they walked through the village, Okafor kept making comments in his American accented English. Wow, this village is still so underdeveloped. No good roads. Look at these houses, still using zinc roofs. In America, we use shingles, very modern. The villagers following behind them began to whisper among themselves. Some were impressed by his big grammar. Others were already sensing that Papa America might not be the blessing they had hoped for. When they reached the family compound, Okafor stopped and stared. The compound was beautiful. Ikenna had rebuilt everything. A fine bungalow where the old mud house used to be, a massive gate, flowers planted around, solar panels on the roof, even a small fish pond in the corner. This is our father's compound? Okafor asked, shocked. Yes, brother. I've been taking care of it. Taking care? This is very nice. Very, very nice. And for a moment, something flickered in Okafor's eyes. Guilt? Shame? But it disappeared quickly, replaced by something else. Calculation. That evening, the village threw a welcome party. The women cooked, the men brought palm wine, and everyone wanted to hear stories about America. They sat Papa America down like a king and gathered around him. Papa America, tell us about America. Is it true that money is easy to find there? Okafor laughed, that big, loud laugh that seemed to say, you poor village people, you know nothing. Money? Yes, there is money in America, but you have to work hard, very, very hard, not like here where people are lazy. Ikenna, serving palm wine to the guests, paused slightly but said nothing. I have worked in America for 50 years. 50 years. I started from the bottom, washing plates in restaurants, cleaning offices at night, driving taxi. I suffered. Yeah, the people sympathized. You suffered. But I worked hard. I saved every dollar, every single dollar. You know why I succeeded? Discipline. I never wasted money on nonsense. While other Nigerians were sending money home for parties and weddings, I was investing. While they were building houses they would never live in, I was buying stocks. The village people nodded, impressed by his wisdom. And now, Okafor stood up dramatically. Now I am comfortable. I have a house in America. I have investments. I have retirement money. I am not rich, but I am comfortable. Brother, one of the elders asked carefully, in 50 years, you never sent anything home, not even when your father died, when your mother died? The compound went quiet, very quiet. You could hear crickets chirping in the distance.
Okafor's face hardened. You people don't understand economics. If I had been sending money anyhow, would I have succeeded? Would I have investments now? I had to make sacrifices. Sacrifices. That's what you people don't understand. Ikenna finally spoke, his voice calm and gentle. Brother, nobody is judging you. We are just happy you are home now. Come, let me show you to your room. He led Okafor to one of the rooms in the bungalow. A nice room, clean, with a good bed and a fan. This room is fine, Okafor said, looking around critically. But the fan is too small. In America, we use air conditioning. It's very hot here. How do you people survive? We manage, brother. We manage. The next morning, Ikenna woke up early as usual to go to the farm. He was putting on his boots when Okafor came out of his room, still wearing his pajamas. Actual pajamas, not wrapper like normal people. Ikenna, I want to talk to you about something important. Yes, brother. This compound, our father's compound, it's very valuable now. You've developed it well, too well. Ikenna paused, his hand on his boot. Thank you. I've been thinking, since I'm the first son, technically, this compound belongs to me. Our father left it for me. The morning suddenly felt colder. Ikena straightened up slowly and looked at his brother. Brother, with all due respect, you left 50 years ago. You never came back. Not for Papa's burial, not for Mama's burial, not for anything. I rebuilt this place from nothing. But I'm still the first son. Okafor's voice rose. In Igbo culture, the first son inherits a family property. You know this. Then where were you when the property was falling into ruins? Where were you when neighbors were trying to take our land? Where were you when I spent my own money, my own sweat to rebuild everything? Okafor waved his hand dismissively. That's your own fault. Did I ask you to rebuild it? You did it yourself. But by law, by tradition, this belongs to me. Something snapped in Ikena. Something that had been building for 50 years. But he didn't show it. Instead, he smiled. That smile again.
You know what, brother? You are right. You are absolutely right. You are the first son. This compound should be yours. Okafor's face lit up. Finally, someone who understands tradition. But Ikena continued calmly. If you want to claim ownership, we should do it properly. We should go to the family meeting and settle everything according to tradition. You agree? Yes, let's do it properly. Good. I'll arrange the meeting for next week. We will invite all the elders and family members. Everything will be transparent. Okafor nodded, satisfied. Good. Very good. That's how we should do things. The American way. Proper documentation. As Ikena walked to his farm that morning, his wife ran after him. Ikena, what are you doing? You are just going to give him the compound? My dear, watch and see. Your husband is not a fool. 50 years ago, my brother forgot where he came from. Now he will remember. The news of the family meeting spread like wildfire. Everyone wanted to attend. This was better than a Nollywood film. The brother who abandoned his family for 50 years coming back to claim property from the brother who sacrificed everything. This was premium village drama. On the day of the meeting, the compound was full. Elders sat in positions of honor. Family members crowded around. Even people from neighboring villages came to watch. Okafor arrived wearing another expensive suit, carrying a briefcase like he was going to a business meeting. He looked confident, ready to claim what he believed was rightfully his. The head of the elders, Masi Okonkwo, a man so old he remembered when Okafor was born, called the meeting to order. We are gathered here today to settle a family matter. Okafor, the first son, who has returned from America after 50 years, is claiming ownership of the family compound. Ikena, who has lived here and maintained the property, is present to respond. Okafor, state your case. Okafor stood up, adjusted his tie, and began to speak. Distinguished elders, family members, I stand before you as the first son of our late father. According to Igbo tradition, the first son inherits the family property. I may have been away for a long time, but that doesn't change the fact that I am the rightful owner of this compound. Some people murmured in agreement. Tradition was tradition, after all.
I acknowledge that my younger brother has maintained the property, and for that I am grateful, very grateful. But maintenance does not equal ownership. I am willing to compensate him for his efforts, but the compound is mine. He sat down, looking satisfied with himself. Mazi Okonkwo turned to Ikena. Ikena, what do you say? Ikena stood up slowly. He wasn't wearing any fancy clothes, just his regular wrapper and shirt. But when he spoke, his voice carried across the compound like thunder. Elders, family members, I have only one question for my brother. Brother Okafor, in 50 years, how much money did you send home? Okafor shifted uncomfortably. That's not the issue here. We're talking about property, not money. Answer the question, Okafor. Mazi Okonkwo commanded. How much did you send home in 50 years? I was struggling. I was building my life. I couldn't. 0, Ikenna's voice boomed. 0 naira, 0 kobo, $0, 0 cents, nothing. The compound erupted in murmurs. When Papa was sick and needed money for hospital, did you send anything? No, I paid from my small farming business. When Mama's roof was leaking and rain was pouring on her bed, did you send money to fix it? No, I fixed it myself. When the family land was about to be taken by our neighbors, did you send money to fight the case in court? No, I fought with my own money. Okafor tried to interrupt, but I was 50 years. Ikenna wasn't finished. 50 years and you never sent 1 kobo? But now you want to claim the property? Let me ask you, brother, what exactly are you claiming? This beautiful house you see, I built it with my money. The fence, my money. The gate, my money. The fish pond, my money. The solar panels, my money. Even the paint on the walls, my money. The crowd was now fully on Ikenna's side. But you know what? Ikenna's voice became calmer, almost gentle. You are right. Tradition is tradition. You are the first son. So, I will give you what our father left you. He signaled to some young men standing at the side. They disappeared behind the main house and returned carrying something. Old, rotting pieces of wood, rusty zinc roofing sheets, broken clay pots. This, Ikenna pointed at the debris. This is what our father left. This is what you abandoned. This is what I inherited. If you want what Papa left, here it is. Take it. Take it to America. Build your American house with it. The crowd roared with laughter and applause. But Ikenna wasn't done. You talk about Igbo tradition. Let me tell you about Igbo tradition. In Igbo tradition, the first son takes care of the family. The first son buries his parents with honor. The first son protects the family property. The first son sends money home to help his siblings. You did none of these things. You abandoned your duties for 50 years and now you want to claim the benefits? That is not tradition. That is theft. Mazi Okonkwo stood up. Okafor, I remember when you left. I was not this old then. I still had black hair. You promised your parents you would help them. You promised the family. We heard you became a big man in America, but you never sent even $1 home. Now you come back, dressed in expensive clothes, talking about your investments, your stocks, your comfort, and you want to take property from your brother who sacrificed everything? What kind of man are you? Another elder joined in. I remember your father's burial. We had to contribute money because there was nothing. Ikenna was still a young man, but he worked day and night to give your father a proper burial. Where were you? You couldn't even send sympathy message. And your mother? An elderly woman stood up, tears in her eyes. Your mother died calling your name. She waited 50 years for you to visit, but you never came, not once. And now you want to inherit from her? Okafor's face had gone from confident to ashamed. He tried to defend himself. You people don't understand how hard life was in America. I was struggling. I was sending money, but the people I sent it through must have stolen it. Liar! Someone shouted from the crowd. We know other people who went to America the same time as you. They sent money home, they came back to visit, but you You forgot your family completely." Okafor looked around desperately for support, but found none. Even the few people who had initially sympathized with him based on tradition were now looking at him with disgust. Ikenna continued, his voice now full of emotion. "Brother, I don't hate you. You are still my brother. But you cannot abandon your responsibilities for 50 years and then come back to claim privileges. If you wanted this compound, you should have helped maintain it. If you wanted respect, you should have respected our parents when they were alive." Tears began to roll down Ikenna's face. Real tears. Not the manipulative kind, but the tears of a man who had carried burdens for too long. Do you know what Mama's last words were? She said, "Tell Okafor I forgive him. Tell him I understand that America was hard for him, but tell him I wish he had just sent one letter, just one." She died waiting for that letter, brother. She died hoping you still remembered her. The entire compound was silent now. Even the children had stopped playing. Some people were crying. Okafor's expensive briefcase slipped from his hands. His shoulders sagged, and for the first time since he arrived, he looked like what he really was. Not Papa America, not a big man, but a son who had failed his family. He tried to speak but couldn't. The words wouldn't come. Mazi Okonkwo delivered the final judgment. "This case is simple. Okafor, you have no claim to this property. Tradition gives property to the first son who fulfills his duties, not to the one who runs away. This compound belongs to Ikenna. If you want anything from your father's estate, take those rotten woods and zincs. That is all that remains of what you left behind." The meeting ended. People began to disperse, shaking their heads, some praising Ikenna, others cursing Okafor. But Ikenna approached his brother, who was sitting alone, head in his hands. "Brother," Okafor looked up, his eyes red. "Come with me." Ikenna led him to a small shrine behind the compound, where their parents were buried. 2 simple graves with concrete slabs. "Talk to them," Ikenna said gently. "Tell them what you couldn't tell them when they were alive." And Papa America, the big man from America with his expensive suits, an American accent and talk of investments, collapsed on his parents' graves and wept like a child. He wept for 50 years of absence. He wept for phone calls he never made. He wept for money he never sent. He wept for a mother who died calling his name. He wept for a father who died waiting for him. "I'm sorry, Papa. I'm sorry, Mama. I was stupid. I was foolish. I wanted to make it big before coming home. I wanted to come back as a rich man. I was ashamed to come back struggling. So I kept waiting for the right time. And the right time never came. And now you're gone. You're both gone." Ikenna stood there, watching his brother break down. And his own heart broke too. Because despite everything, this was still his brother. The same brother who used to carry him on his back when he was little. The same brother who taught him how to climb trees. The same brother who left for America with dreams in his eyes. After a long time, when Okafor's tears had dried up, Ikenna helped him up. "Brother, you can stay in the compound as long as you want. You're still family. But you need to understand something. Stinginess destroyed your relationship with our parents. Pride kept you away for 50 years. Don't let the same things destroy the little time we have left." Okafor nodded, unable to speak. The days that followed were transformational. Papa America took off his expensive suits and put on a wrapper. He started going to the farm with Ikenna. He ate fufu with his hands like a proper village man. He attended village meetings. He visited neighbors. And slowly, very slowly, he began to change. One morning, Ikenna woke up to find Okafor cooking breakfast. "Brother, what are you doing?" "Making breakfast. In America, I learned to cook. Let me be useful." Another day, Ikenna returned from the farm to find Okafor teaching the village children mathematics under the big tree. "These children need education," Okafor explained. "I may have failed our parents, but I can still help the village." Weeks passed, then a month, then 2 months. One evening, as they sat drinking palm wine together, Okafor finally spoke what had been on his mind. "Ikenna, I want to do something. I want to make amends." "Brother, you don't have to." "No, let me finish. I have money, not millions, but I have savings. I want to use it to build a health center in the village in Papa and Mama's name, so their names will be remembered for something good." Ikenna looked at his brother, really looked at him, and saw something different. The arrogance was gone. The stinginess was gone. The American accent was fading. What remained was just a man trying to make peace with his past. "Brother, that would be wonderful. And I want to send you money every month to help maintain the compound. I know it's late, 50 years late, but better late than never." Ikenna smiled. "Brother, I don't need your money, but the village does. Build the health center, support the schools, help the widows. That's how you honor our parents." And Papa America did exactly that. He didn't just talk about it, he did it. The health center was built. He sponsored 10 children to go to secondary school. He bought a grinding machine for the village women's cooperative. He fixed the village borehole. The same villagers who had mocked him after the family meeting began to see him differently. Not as Papa America, the stingy big man, but as Okafor, the prodigal son who came home and found redemption. 1 year later, on the anniversary of their mother's death, the entire village gathered at the compound for a memorial. Okafor stood before the crowd, no longer in expensive suits, but in traditional Igbo attire, and spoke from the heart. "I came back to this village thinking I was better than everyone. I thought because I lived in America, I was successful. I thought because I had money in the bank, I was wise. But this village taught me a lesson I should have learned 50 years ago. You can have all the money in the world, all the investments, all the stocks. But if you forget where you came from, if you abandon your family, if stinginess blinds you to what truly matters, you have nothing." He turned to Ikenna. "My brother gave me a taste of my own medicine. He showed me what I had become, and for that I will be forever grateful." The crowd applauded, not because of his words, but because they had witnessed a genuine transformation. Later that night, as the brothers sat alone under the stars, Okafor asked, "Ikenna, when you planned that family meeting, did you know it would turn out like this?" Ikenna smiled, that same knowing smile. "Brother, I knew you needed to see the truth. Sometimes the best medicine tastes bitter, but it heals." "You could have just taken everything. You had the right. After all I did or didn't do, you could have sent me away with nothing. And what would that have accomplished? You are still my brother. I just needed you to understand that being family is not about claims and rights. It's about responsibility and love." "Will you forgive me? Truly forgive me?" Okafor asked. Ikenna put his hand on his brother's shoulder. "Brother, I forgave you a long time ago. I was just waiting for you to forgive yourself." And so, the story of Papa America became a legend in Umueze. Not a legend of the big man who came from America, but a legend of how stinginess and pride can blind a man, and how sometimes you need to lose everything to find what truly matters. Thank you for watching this episode to the end. See you in our next story. Bye!